Good morning and welcome to Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship. I'm Reverend Paul Beckel.
And I'm Genia, the Director of Lifelong Learning.
And now I'm Genia, the voice of Genia, and these are her words. There are two people who work behind the scenes to put together a meaningful, engaging, and varied plan for our chalice circles every month. This is the Wizard of Oz moment when I pull back the curtain to reveal the wizards behind the wizardry of our chalice circles, which are small groups of 8 to 10 people who meet every month. And we've got about 13 such groups. So Genia and these other leaders are doing very important work. They are Bonnie Finney and Catherine Allen. In the words of Genia, you inspire and humble me with the care and creativity you pour into this vital program. It is such a pleasure to work with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, you stole my thunder, Paul. One of the ways that we here at Buff work to build beloved community is to participate in a chalice circle. And these chalice circles of 6 to 10 people, as he told you, they meet monthly to discuss and reflect on questions and quotes about a specific theme for that month. For instance, this past year, some of the themes that we talked about were resistance, belonging, wonder, and creativity. Chalice circles are a very safe and nurturing environment for you to connect with others, to build community, to grow in spirituality, and to learn the fine art of deep listening. So Catherine and Jeannie and I have been very privileged to create these sessions, and we look forward to next year's sessions, which will be building on the theme of the gifts of our UU faith.
As Paul mentioned, we do have 13 groups currently and 20 facilitators. And we would like to thank each of those facilitators, especially the ones here this morning, or maybe you're on Zoom. And Genia will be rushing around the congregation to give you a thank you note and a small gift, a token of our appreciation. And those people are Jan Cavett, Rick Steele. Yes, please stand up and remain standing, because more will join you shortly. Jan, Rick Steele, Jane DeBrock, Ted Williams, Felice Davis, Carola Tossetti, Carol Dukes, Ann Miller, Colin Goggin, Murray Bennett, Sharon McCarty, Kristen Barber, Jana Williams, Stephanie Sarver, Stephanie Rains, and Bonnie and I also do a chalice circle, and I do mine with Sharon McCarty. So there you have it. Now, do we have all of the... Yes. Remain standing, please. And now we would like to have everyone who is currently in a chalice circle stand, please. If you would like to join a chalice circle for this coming fall, please contact either Bonnie, myself, or Genia, and we will work to place you in a group. Thank you so much.
I just want to quickly remind you that we have our annual congregational meeting after the service today. That will start around noon. If you are a member, you have voting privileges. You can get your voting ballot out in the hall on your way back in after coffee hour. We do have childcare for the annual meeting. Typically runs anywhere from 45 to 90 minutes. We have a red Tesla out in the parking lot with a dog and the windows closed. So if you know. Okay. All right. And now we'll have our prelude. Today, we celebrate the many connections between Buff and the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu. Today's service will be filled with music and will be appropriate for people of all ages. If anyone of any age gets the wiggles, you should know that we have a nursery at the back of the sanctuary, and we have 2 child care providers back there who are ready to be at your service. What are these connections between Buff and First Unitarian of Honolulu? A number of Buff members have led Sunday services there. Kevin and Genia Allen Schmid, Reverends Barbara and Jocko Ten Hove, Lisa Heesen and Reverend Tessie Mandeville introduced the Taizé-style service to them. 2 of our longest time Buff members, Liz and Frank Morrow, have been going back and forth as dual members of the 2 congregations for decades. And Beth Byers is also a member of both congregations. She's on the board there and a frequent musician here. Our theme today is connections, a vital aspect of Buff's mission, which extends well beyond these walls, because we can't do it alone. You know of many of our social action activities. You know, too, that these are possible because we collaborate with many nonprofit, commercial, public, and religious partners in Bellingham and beyond. We're involved with Buddhist, Christian, Jewish groups throughout the city, and our choir has sung year after year at interfaith gatherings and sung at congregational and Unitarian Universalist congregations in Blaine, Mount Vernon, Vancouver, BC, and of course, Mayer-Savat, Hungary. All this continues, of course, through ongoing religious and environmental partnering with our Lummi and Nooksack neighbors. And so let's begin with an acknowledgement of their presence here. We acknowledge and respect the treaty rights of the Coast Salish peoples to the lands and the waters of the Salish Sea, and we recognize their stewardship since time immemorial.
We acknowledge that we gather on Aina, that is the traditional and ancestral homeland to the Hawaiian people. We recognize that Her Majesty, Queen Liliuokalani, yielded the Hawaiian kingdom and these territories temporarily under duress and protest to the United States to avoid the bloodshed of her people. We honor our shared responsibility to this land and these waters. We commit to learning from Hawaiian wisdom, and we strive to repair and deepen our relationships as neighbors and friends. Aloha kako, o ko'uinoa Beth Byers. My name is Beth Byers, and I welcome you to this morning's service. I was born and grew up in Kailua, Hawaii. In 1999, I started coming to Buff, and my children, Sean and Ayana, were raised in this church. In 2015, I moved back to the place of my birth and have been going back and forth from Kailua to Bellingham ever since. Today, I bring you aloha from the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu, which actually isn't the first. It is not only the first, it is the only Unitarian church in the state. From the Reverend Dr. Greg Carroll Boyd, our new minister and director of religious education, and from the members of the church who remember meeting many of you joyfully over the years. First Unitarian is famous in particular for a certain keiki who went to church and religious education there in the late 60s and 70s and grew up to be president of the United States. Last November, it was our great joy to welcome Kevin and Genia to First Unitarian. Kevin agreed to lead a service there on the condition that I collaborate and that we do the service here the next time I was in town. And so here I am, and here we are.
Thank you. This picture I took with my phone while I was out jogging in the valley just above Beth's house. It's two ferns, and they're enormous. When they're almost life-size there. When they unfold, they're as big as my arms or bigger. And there just happen to be two of them just like this. And I thought, that's the connection between Buff and First Unitarian Honolulu. And it's only going to go like that. Our service today is in three parts. We're connecting over the water, under the water, and we're on a journey into the future. So we'd like to start now with Gabe. Maybe you'll explain who Gabe is and what he's doing.
Gabe Tiogonco is one of the members of our church, and he is Filipino and Hawaiian, and he often leads our service by chanting an oli, which is an opening welcome chant.
Well, we're going to do a little exercise now in multilingual presentation. We're going to do Spirit of Life, which many of you know. We sing that anthem here frequently. And we're going to do it in American Sign Language. American Sign Language is the third most used language in the United States. It's used by millions of people, and it is the first language of millions of people. First, we will show you some signs and tell you what they are. And then secondly, we'll sing and sign, and you will sing and sign with us. And then third, we're going to do the same piece with Hawaiian. Not Hawaiian Sign. If there's Hawaiian Sign Language, I don't know about it. And I'm left-handed, my wife is right-handed, so you're going to get both left and right-handed language.
I'll read the covenant. Please join me in the covenant while Beth lights our chalice. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service gives it life. Celebrating our diversity and joined by a quest for truth, we work for peace and honor all creation. This is our covenant.
I think this is me. Oh, there we go. Over the past few months, doing many walks on Kailua Beach. Oh, that's Maisie and on our morning sunrise walk. And walks in the Ko'olau Mountains. And there we are on the Nu'uano Trail. I think Barbara Gilday took that photo. I have thought about what to say to you today about my life in 2 states and 2 congregations. Well, one thing that I noticed on my walks is that every time I go outside, I am blown away by the beauty of this place. That's the path. Oh, that was the path to the beach from the back of my house. Yeah, and now the next one is Kuli'o Ridge overlooking Waimanalo. That's one of the hikes we do. Over my whole lifetime, it has not gotten old or ordinary. Every time I turn into my street and get my first peekaboo view of Kailua Bay, my breath catches. I feel so blessed to have grown up in this place and to still have access. My connection to my home there is huge. Another thing I've thought about is how hard transitions are for me. Going back and forth between 2 states does not suit me. I am constantly questioning myself, what I'm doing, and whether I'm accomplishing anything in either place. I live alone with my dog. There she is. And I'm quite content on my own in my little cubby, which is 186 square feet. But I still feel incomplete. Leaving all of my friends and connections in Bellingham as well as my work was hard. Finding new friends on Oahu was also hard. I began attending First Unitarian to play music. I would show up, play, and leave. For months, I hardly knew anyone except the members of the band. Here we are. But they were relentless, those Unitarians. I am now on the board, and I'm the treasurer. I'm in a covenant group. I attend all sorts of meetings and gatherings and teams and committees. I direct an ad hoc choir, and I do a fair bit of building maintenance. I don't know. Maybe some of you can relate to that. Finding new friends there has made all the difference in really feeling at home again in the islands. Another way to increase, I wanted to show you some pictures of them. Yeah, those are some of my friends. That's Kay, she just turned 90. And that's our new minister, Reverend Dr. Greg, and the lead chef, and our sous chef and tenor, amazing tenor. And then there's also a picture of some of the keiki who are so sweet and delightful. I love them. So another way to increase your friends is to import them. So that's just one of many trips. I had access to that photo. The Mahjong group from Bellingham came to Hawaii. I have so enjoyed sharing the island with visiting friends from Bellingham. And when I come back to Bellingham, there are lots of hugs awaiting me here at Buff. There's choir rehearsal and community night dinners. There's Mahjong, and there's hiking. And I feel a bit out of sync because there are so many new faces, so many people I don't know. But it is so good to be here. And hey, Bellingham and the Pacific Northwest are pretty stunning also. So Maisie and I are here for the summer, and we're ready for our next adventure. So now we are going to engage in a little activity that we thought would be fun for all ages, since this is an intergenerational service. We're going to learn a little bit of hula. And I have the assistance of a few people here, as well as Kumu Hula Ka'anohi Aipa, a friend from Kailua, who is going to actually do the hula for us. And I'm going to go through with you on a few moves through the gestures so that you can do it as well. This is a hula that is done primarily with the hands and arms, so you can all stay seated. You will need a little bit of room, so you might want to scooch around a bit. If you do want to stand, just move to the side so everyone can see. Okay. So hula is done by people of all ages, from the smallest keiki to the oldest kapuna, and everyone is welcome to do this. So we are going to work on a song called O'oi I'o, and like most Hawaiian songs, it uses images from nature to tell the story or relay the message. And this particular song translates directly to, "You are the hawk." And it describes all kinds of ways that we identify with spirit, spirit as a hawk, or spirit as the highest mountains, or spirit as the living waters. And so I'm going to now teach you some of these signs, and I think I can do this without that. So the first one is the hawk. You're going to start with your hands like this, and soar up, and then spread your wings and soar. Very nice. The next one is the heavens, and you're going to go like this, or the skies, either one, okay? We do many things on both sides, and it doesn't matter which side you start on, it's all good. Okay, and then the hawk again. Very nice. Okay, now the living waters, and we have two kinds of water. We have the rolling water of the waterfall and the gentle waves out to the sea. Very good. The hawk. Oh, you're good. Mai kai. Now, this is the source of life. So you're going to, this looks a little bit like I'm a little teapot with two handles. Start here, and bring it around and to your chest, and then out. All right, the source of life. Let's try that one more time. This. I should be saying the words. Ekumu ola. This is the source of all, no, the maker of all things, all things. The beloved. Now here you come to your heart and look up like you're adoring this, yes? And finally, the highest mountain. And here we have, the highest mountain is Kamauna Kie Kie, and Kie Kie is the highest, right? So Mauna, and then Kie Kie. Very good. Now you're going to have a chance to practice this 3 times. We'll go through the song 3 times. It's pretty short. And we're going to do it along with Ka'anohi. And this is a bit of a coordination exercise because there is no sound with her. So we have to follow her. So we'll have, Lisa will begin with an introduction, and we might have to pause a little bit while we wait for her to catch up. Okay, are we ready to begin? Go. Okay. Mai kai, very, very good. Thank you.
Thank you to Marion for playing the harmonica. That was an added bonus. All right, PJ and Jessica, you're up.
The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. You think about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world around you, right here on the ocean floor. Such wonderful things surround you. What more is you looking for?
Under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore they work all day. Out in the sun they slave away. While we devoting full time to floating under the sea. Down here all the fish is happy as off through the waves they roll. The fish on the land ain't happy. They're sad 'cause they're in the bowl. But fish in the bowl is lucky. They in for a worser fate. One day when the boss get hungry, guess who's gonna be on the plate?
Uh-oh.
Under the sea, under the sea. Nobody beat us, fry us, and eat us in fricassee. We're what the land folks love to cook. Under the sea, we're off the hook. We got no troubles, life is the bubbles. Under the sea, under the sea. Since life is sweet here, we got the beat here naturally. Even the sturgeon and the ray, they get the urge and start to play. We got the spirit, you gotta hear it under the sea. The newt play the flute,
The carp play the harp.
the place play the bass, and they soundin' sharp.
The bass play the brass.
The chub play the tub,
The fluke is the Duke of Soul.
the ray he can
The
play.
lings on the strings.
The trout rocking out,
The blackfish
the
sings.
smelt and the sprat, they know where it's at.
And oh, that blowfish blow.
Oh, under the sea, under the sea. When the sardine begin the begin, it's music to me. What do they got? A lot of sand. We got a hot crustacean band. Each little clam here know how to jam here under the sea. Each little slug here caught in a rug here under the sea. Each little snail here know how to whale here. That's why it's hotter under the water. Yeah, we're in luck here, down in the muck here under the sea.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liz Roberts, and I'm going to tell you about the life of Tokutai. A long time ago in the Salish Sea, a little orca was born to the group of whales known as the J-pod. The humans called her Tokitai, or Toki. Toki loved swimming in the clear, clean sea around the San Juan Islands. Every few minutes, she and her family rose to the surface to breathe and then exhaled from their blowhole in a spray of mist which could be spotted far away. Tokitai and the other orcas loved to play. They leapt up out of the water and slapped their flukes on the surface with pure joy. Toki's family talked to each other underwater using clicks, whistles, honks, and squeaks. They could hear each other as far as 15 miles away. The J-pod often swam 40 miles a day in search of food, using sonar clicks to find salmon hiding in kelp beds. Orcapods are led by grandma orcas, the oldest and wisest females. Orcas love and take care of their babies. They are the only known wild animals where the children stay with their mothers their whole lives, and they can live up to 90 years. On a hot August day in 1970, the J-pod was hunting for salmon off of Whidbey Island when they heard loud noises from speedboats carrying nets. The orcas were frightened and split up. Overhead, airplanes followed the whales and chased them into Penn Cove, where several of them were trapped in nets. Toki and 6 other young orcas were captured, and she was flown to Seaquarium in Miami, Florida. Toki was very scared and lonely, but eventually they put Hugo, another young orca captured in the Salish Sea, into her small tank, and they became friends until Hugo died a few years later. For more than 50 years, the aquarium owners made Tokitai do tricks for people in her small tank, but she never forgot her family, her language, or her home in the Salish Sea. After her capture, many different people worked to rescue Tokitai, including veterinarians, lawyers, and members of the Lummi Nation, and people like you and me. Just a few months ago, the new owners of Seaquarium agreed to release Toki, and people all over the country are working right now to make sure she will have a safe journey home. In the next year or two, Tokitai will finally be reunited with her orca family and be able to leap and splash again in the waters of the Salish Sea. Maybe one day you will be able to spot her spouting far off in the distance.
We're now going to share with you The Seal Lullaby by Rudyard Kipling, which was put to music beautifully by composer Eric Whitacre. The Seal Lullaby. Oh, hush thee, my baby, the night is behind us, and black are the waters that sparkled so green. The moon o'er the combers looks downward to find us at rest in the hollows that rustle between. Where billow meets billow, then soft by thy pillow. Ah, weary wee flipperling, curl at thy ease. The storm shall not wake thee, nor shark overtake thee. Asleep in the arms of the slow swinging seas.
I'm going to read to you a poem by Rena Priest. Rena is a member of the Lummi Nation and is the current Washington State Poet Laureate, and she has also visited Buff even recently. Silence from the Deep. How do we mistake desolation for peace? When orcas no longer sing, will we grieve? Waves say hush along the beach. Under the waves, there is no reprieve. When orcas no longer sing, will we grieve? Each generation dwindles in number. Under the waves, there is no reprieve. From noise, human noise, pollution, and hunger. Each generation dwindles in number. The world is a mirror of our hearts. Look away from human noise, pollution, and hunger. Everything is endangered or going extinct. The world is a mirror of our hearts. Look away so as not to see how under the waves everything is endangered or going extinct. When orcas no longer sing, will we see? Will we see how under the waves that say hush along the beach? When orcas no longer sing, will we see how we mistook desolation for peace?
The whales, the humpback whales, connect us. They swim right past here on their way to Alaska, where they feed, and then they swim to Hawaii, where they breed. I think I got this right. Then they swim to Baja, where they calve. So they sing all the way. And the people that settled these places first call themselves canoe people, the Coast Salish people and the Hawaiians. This is a picture from a few years back of an event called Paddle to Lummi. It has become an annual event where the different tribes in the Coast Salish region send out an invitation that their relatives within paddling distance, and they've come from as far as Bella Coola, so several weeks of paddling, and out from the ocean tribes like Quinault and the Makah. They pull up on the beach there at Gooseberry Point. This is called the Stomish Grounds, and every June the Lummi host canoe races there. You don't want to miss it. The tribes they try to get young people into the canoe because to train together, they require them to live a clean life, to abstain from drugs and alcohol, and to work out and be fit, to work together, pull together, they say. And it gives them an identity and a purpose and something to do together, to move the canoe. So you see delegations from many different tribes with these young people pulling in. So many. When you walk along the shore there, all the regalia is just fascinating. And the next time there's a canoe event, it goes from tribe to tribe. So you have to watch and see who's hosting it next. And you can go along and see the names. These canoes are family members. They don't belong to the tribe itself. They belong to families, like the West Shore Canoe family, for example. They remember where the tree grew, and they said prayers over it, and how they created it, how they've maintained it is a part of their family. And not just anybody can get in there, into that canoe, because it's a privilege of the family. When it's time, someone stands up in the canoe on the shore there and will ask for permission to come ashore, and they will do it in their own language. Each of the tribal languages around this area are slightly different. So Lushootseed or Makah or Lummi or Tulalip. They will say a prayer from their family. They will ask in their language if they may come ashore. And the MC on the beach in Lummi language will say, "You're welcome here. We look forward to learning more about you, to getting to know you over the next few days. We're going to sing and dance all night long. We're going to hear your stories. We're going to have time to renew our relationship." A way that you and I can be involved is when it's time for the canoe to be carried up on, these are heavy things. You might be able to put your hand in there. They allow visitors to help with this, and I got to do that. And just touching the canoe was so powerful. You get to help carry them up. You can see places on this map that they will paddle that far out in the open sea and around from Vancouver Island and up in the Georgia Straits and so forth, all the way to come together. They have a schedule. And you can see that, you can watch the progress. You can go, everywhere they land for the night, they'll have a ceremony with singing and dancing, so you can follow that progress. The Hawaiians wanted to be involved, they're canoe people, and here's a picture of a group from Maui in their canoe called Autumn Rose. And they brought an issue, a concern that a giant telescope was going to be built on Mauna Kea, and they didn't want that polluting their sacred site, the summit of the mountain, and they were asking for some awareness about that as they paddled here. They didn't paddle that canoe all the way from Hawaii. They shipped it over, and they started in Anacortes or someplace, right? Next. The Hawaiians, of course, settled on their seagoing canoes centuries ago from Polynesia. And this is just a little model from a museum, but in the identity of the Hawaiian people, they know that they have their foods and their animals that they brought with them, and so their entire being is from the canoe origin. So they like to take part in paddle to Lumi as well. What's next? We now invite Paul.
Along with congregations around the country, we take periodic collections to support organizations who are putting their hands and their bodies and their souls and hands-on work into fulfilling the principles that we stand for. Today, we are going to be taking a collection for the local organization Blue Skies for Children, and this is Lindsay Gerhard, a board member of Blue Skies for Children.
Hi, everybody, and thank you, Paul. My name is Lindsay. I'm here representing Blue Skies for Children. I want to thank you all for welcoming me here. It's been really wonderful to be in community with you all today, so thank you for having us. The mission of Blue Skies for Children is to raise hope and self-esteem by sponsoring enrichment activities and providing other essentials for homeless, low-income, and foster children. We provide services to children aged 6 to 18 in both Whatcom and Skagit counties. Some of the ways that Blue Skies does that is by distribution programs and Little Wishes programs. So in 2022, the small, hardworking team of the staff of 3 provided over 3,000 enrichment sessions. So this is music lessons, art lessons, soccer programs, anything that a kid wants to do that has a cost attached. Blue Skies can help make that happen if financial barriers are in place for this family. We also do distribution programs like backpacks, shoes, and anything that kids need to get back to school. And the thing that makes the big thing that's different about these programs is they're not secondhand. These are branded, labeled, brand new shoes, you know. That is our greatest need right now, is brand new shoes for our back to school distribution program. This year we're lucky to expand that program into a couple of different new distribution sessions, which means we get to meet with twice as many students and kids that we did before, so we need to raise that many, we need to get that many shoes to make that possible. Shoes might not feel significant when you're dealing with complicated issues like poverty, but in the sense of confidence and connection that a child can have when they don't worry about fitting in when they're starting in a new school, or they can have the choice to feel that they get to have their own self-expression and representation in their clothing, it can be really pivotal in a young life. So that's what we're asking today. I can honestly, I'm proud to say that it is such a hardworking staff. They're so responsible. They put their hearts into everything. So every dollar that you donate will go as far as it possibly can. I'm going to be downstairs afterwards. I would love to talk to any of you more if you'd like to know more about our organization, or if you're interested in possibly running your own shoe drive, or if you have any other ideas about ways you'd like to get involved, I'd love to speak with you more. So thank you so much again for having us here, for thinking of Blue Skies, and for just being such a wonderful, welcoming place to be.
As the ushers come around with the baskets, any cash that you place in the basket will go directly to Blue Skies for Children. If you would write a check, make that out to Buff. We will BUF on the check, and we will collect those and compile a big check for Blue Skies for Children. If you specifically wanted your check to go to a pledge payment for Buff, then you should write that on the memo line. Otherwise, it will go to Blue Skies for Children.
Not up there.
We're seeing Hawaiian slides, so 364 in the teal envelope.
Those photos were contributed by the members of First Unitarian Church for you. First, mahalo nui to the AV team of Jeff, Walt, and Quinn for their massive amount of work this morning. It was amazing. Aloha and hanaho kako. Until we meet again.
I want to thank Ruth Ann Quinlan for the rainbow quilt. I mean Hanlon, Ruth Ann Hanlon. Sorry. All right. Now you will hear a signal to circle round.